What if the reason that meditation isn't working for you is everything that you think it's supposed to feel like? Millions of people sit down into meditation, close their eyes, and then just wait for it to happen, thinking that this state of enlightenment or calm or peace or something will come over them. And when they sit down with their eyes closed and the thoughts are still happening, their mind still feels active, they're still anxious, they think, I can't meditate, I'm bad at this. My mind just doesn't meditate. These are all things that I've heard from actual students in my meditation classes. And here's the thing that I love getting to tell them. Meditation is not a state that you achieve. It's a practice. It's just a thing that you sit down and that you do. People talk about meditation as this state of being. And it is in some ways, but really it's practicing the state of being. Meditation is a thing that you do. You sit there, you attempt to focus your mind, and then you get distracted. And then you refocus your mind. And that is the meditation. Meditation is getting distracted and refocusing your mind. So if you've ever quit because you feel like you can't practice meditation or you're bad at it, this video is going to change how you think about meditation forever. We'll cover why chasing the feeling is what kills the meditation and what a good meditation session looks like, because it's not what you think. There's so many movies and writings about meditation, and so we could form this conception of what it is to meditate, what it looks like to meditate, what people who meditate are like. And we form this idea of what it must feel like clearing the thoughts, being completely calm, being at ease, non-judgmental awareness. And we forget that this is a practice that's been done over decades. What they don't realize is that these yogis, these people who are, really enlightened or just very good meditators, are the way they are because they practice being distracted and returning the attention to the focus, this real meditation, so much. They practice this for years, thousands of hours. People grade every session that they sit down into meditation. They say, oh, was I calm? Did I quiet my mind? And the answer is often no. Now, you've turned relaxation into a performance. The cruel loop is that you sit down to relax and then just get more tense because you're not relaxed. You create tension because you're feeling tension. And so instead of meditation being a relaxing thing, it becomes a frustrating thing. And you get up and walk away and give up. Meditation is about reps, not results. If you start thinking about meditation like going to the gym, it might make more sense. When you go to the gym, you lift up heavy things. And when you get out of the gym, you don't say you failed because the heavy things are still on the floor where you left them. What happened was that you lifted them many times and you practiced the art of lifting these heavy weights. You strengthened your muscles. You got reps in. And meditation is the same thing. If you come out of the meditation and the thoughts are not clear, it doesn't mean that you haven't lifted any weights. It doesn't mean that you haven't practiced meditation. Meditation is just the act of getting distracted and bringing attention back to the focus on the breath or whatever the object of focus is. When you do a bicep curl, you lift the weight up and then you let it back down. And you lift the weight up and you let it back down. In meditation, you focus on the breath, you start thinking about something, and then you notice that you're starting to think about something, or maybe something in your environment like a track reminds you, and then you bring the attention back. You make the conscious decision to return your attention back to your breath. In meditation, the wandering mind is the weight. Returning your mind's focus back to the object of attention that you've chosen is the repetition. A session where you were distracted for 30 minutes, but you returned your attention 50 times, that's 50 reps. That was a great workout. That was a great session. The person who just sat there in a natural state of calm did fewer reps than you did. They were lifting a smaller weight or weren't lifting a weight at all. What does a good meditation session actually look like? Many times I sit down, close my eyes, and immediately just start thinking about whatever I was just doing or whatever is weighing on my mind today. Maybe a tense conversation that I had earlier, or maybe a conversation that I'm nervous about having later. After a few minutes, I kind of rein in my mind, decide to focus on something. Once my body is settled, I pick the breath. I can feel the sensation of the breath coming through my nostrils, and I just feel that sensation in my nose. In the same way you stare into a flame in a campfire, just watching it flicker, you just watch the sensations in your nose flicker. Maybe after half a breath, you get distracted and start thinking about some email that you have to write later. That's fine. Maybe after a few minutes, you notice, oh, I'm not thinking about my breath anymore. I'm thinking about emails. Let me return my attention to the breath. So you come back. Maybe this time you actually make it through half of a breath cycle back to the exhale. And then you start thinking again, back to the breath. No matter how many times you get distracted or how long you get distracted, the goal is to just simply get a couple reps of returning your attention back to the breath. That's your freedom. That's your conscious control of your body. Everything else is reaction. We have to redefine what a successful meditation looks like. And to me, it's simply just sitting in silence. Even if you only focus on your breath once, or even if you don't even return to the breath any times, just sitting there in silence, watching your thoughts, noticing what's occurring to you, starting to increase your ability to become meta-aware, aware of how your mind works. Those are huge wins. It allows your body to calm over time, to increase your executive function, increase the usage of the task positive network or your conscious system in the brain. And it allows you to gain control over the default mode network, which is your reactive network, kind of just how you look at Instagram the second you open your phone without even knowing what you're doing. These kind of unconscious reactions, we can start to slow down and then respond from a place of consciousness, from a place of choice. And sitting in silence is strengthening that muscle of consciousness, the ability to choose. And this is it. You cannot fail a meditation session that you showed up for. Showing up, sitting there, even if your eyes aren't even closed, just sitting in silence, doing nothing and watching. Don't even get hung up on the word watching, just sitting in silence. You're doing a big thing, just sitting there and doing nothing. So many people wouldn't do that. So many people can't make it through any moment of stillness, of silence. They pick up their phone, they watch TV, they call somebody, they have to do things, they twiddle their thumbs. Just sitting in stillness is a practice. When you look at having no thoughts or even just calmness as the goal of meditation, everything that comes into your meditation becomes the enemy, something that you need to fight off. This is the opposite of what you want to achieve in meditation. What all lineages of meditation teach is non-judgmental awareness, the ability to allow things to come into your awareness, thoughts, sounds, feelings, whatever it is, and allow them to just be as they are. So maybe you start thinking about, what your boss said to you, email you to write, whatever. And you can allow that to be for a moment. The states that people chase, calm, focus, clarity, isn't that the whole point of meditation? Why would I sit and meditate if I'm not calm? The practice of meditation leads to calm, focus, and clarity as side effects, even if it arises after the meditation session or the next day or over time. Chasing an emotional state like calm is what makes you less calm. Allowing yourself to be not calm, to be upset, to be distracted, to be whatever it is, allows those feelings to pass through you. This is how our emotions work. So people say that emotions only last for 90 seconds. I believe it. The reason they get stuck and become our entire day or our entire mood, our entire lifetime, is because we don't let them pass through. And so allowing your emotions to be, allow your anger, allow your irritation, allow your happiness, your joy, your grief, whatever it is, allowing it to pass through you, feeling it, allowing it to be there. That's what allows the state of calm to come in once the processing has been done. So here's my favorite way to get started with meditation if you want to dive in. A daily practice is the best way. Just show up for whatever feels really easy to you. Maybe it's 30 minutes a day, that's probably a lot. Maybe it's 5 minutes a day. Maybe it's 1 minute a day. Maybe it's 2 conscious breaths each morning when you wake up. The goal is showing up, sitting in stillness, sitting in silence. Even if your environment isn't silent, that's okay. But you sitting in stillness and showing up for yourself and allowing things to be is the repetition. That's the win, that's the workout. This is meditation. So I like to start with the breath. Maybe pick the feeling of the breath in the nose. If you can feel the air passing through your nostrils and just focusing on that. And then if you notice you've become distracted, you return your attention to the breath. Set a timer for 1 minute, 5 minutes, whatever. Show up every day for that 1 minute. That's a win. You stack those minutes up, that becomes a lot over time. Your body starts to get programmed that there is this moment where it can be. And that gives you some safety and clarity throughout the rest of your day, even if it's just 1 breath, 1 minute. So you were never bad at meditation. No one is bad at meditation. You're just grading yourself on a test that doesn't exist. If this video was helpful to you, please hit buttons. I'd love to see you in the next one.